My son took my country house and gave it to his wife's family. He said, it's theirs now. You have no right to go there. I just nodded and smiled. I didn't argue. But when they came to move in, they were very surprised by what they saw. Let me tell you everything from the start. First, I want to say thank you to all the sweet people watching today. Your love makes my heart so happy. If you enjoy my stories, please click subscribe and ring the little bell to get notifications. I love reading your comments, so please write the name of your city in the comments. I might even say hello to you in my next story. Now, let me tell you what happened at my country house. I am 73 years old, and I've learned a lot in my life. Sometimes staying calm is more powerful than shouting. People expect you to cry or argue, but I've learned that a gentle smile can do more than yelling ever could. The country house wasn't just a house to me. It was my happy place, my safe spot. My husband, Evander, and I bought it 45 years ago when our son, Corbin, was only 3 years old. Back then, it was small, just 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, and a tiny kitchen. But we had big dreams for that place. Evander worked extra shifts at the factory every weekend for 5 years, so we could make changes. I remember him holding his coffee cup in one hand and his measuring tape in the other, planning where he'd build the big front porch. Juniper, he used to say, one day, we'll sit on that porch swing and watch our grandkids play in the yard. And we did. I painted every room myself while little Corbin napped. Evander built the porch himself, board by board. We planted apple trees, which now grow tall and full. That house was filled with memories. Every creaky floorboard told a story. When Evander passed away 8 years ago, the house became even more precious to me. It was where I felt closest to him. I could almost feel his spirit there. I spent weekends there after he died, sometimes staying for a whole week. I'd sit on that porch swing he built, drink my coffee, and talk to him like he was still sitting next to me. Sure, the house needed a little fixing. The gutters leaked when it rained, and some window screens had tiny holes. But it was mine. It was the place where I felt truly at peace. At first, Corbin used to visit often after his dad passed. He'd bring his wife, Tamsin, and their 2 kids. We had so much fun together. But as the years went by, they came less and less. Tamsin always seemed uncomfortable there. She would complain about the old furniture or the old-fashioned kitchen. I should have noticed the signs, but I didn't. Corbin started acting strange months before the day he broke my heart. Our phone calls became short. He said he was busy whenever I invited him for dinner. Tamsin barely spoke to me when they visited. She'd sit on her phone while I tried to play with the kids. I told myself they were just busy. I made excuses because I loved them, but now I can see they were planning something. They thought I was too soft and wouldn't stand up for myself. The conversation that hurt me so much happened on a cold Tuesday morning in November. Corbin asked me to meet him for lunch at Peterson's Diner. That's the little restaurant downtown where I used to take him for chocolate chip pancakes when he was little. I was excited. I thought he wanted to talk about Christmas plans. But when I arrived, his face looked serious and cold. He didn't eat much, just played with his napkin. Finally, he said, Mom, Tamsin's parents are having money problems. Their apartment lease is ending, and they can't afford to stay there. I nodded, feeling sorry for them, already thinking about how I could help. Then Corbin said words that froze my heart. We've decided to let them live in the country house. It's perfect for them. They're retired now and need a quiet place for their golden years. I felt like ice was running through my veins. I stayed calm and said, Corbin, honey, that's my house. That's where your father and I. He cut me off with a wave of his hand. Mom, let's be realistic. You barely use the place anymore. It's just sitting empty most of the time. Tamsin's parents will take care of it. This solves everyone's problems. He spoke like my feelings didn't matter, like 45 years of memories meant nothing. I looked at him trying to find the boy I raised, but he felt like a stranger. Corbin, I said quietly, that's where you learned to ride your bike, where we celebrated every birthday and Christmas. That's where your father taught you to fish in the pond. He shifted uncomfortably. I know, Mom, but that's in the past. We need to think about practical things. You already have your house in town. You don't need 2 houses. That word need stung, as if love and memories could be measured by need. As if the place where I feel closest to my late husband was just an extra house, I thought. Have you talked to Tamsin's parents about this? I asked. Of course, Corbin said, looking guilty. They're very grateful. Tamsin's mom is already planning where she'll put her sewing machine and how to arrange the furniture. They had made all the decisions without me. They didn't care that every chair, every painting, every corner was full of memories of Vander and I created. The pain in my chest was so sharp I thought I was having a heart attack. But I didn't cry. I didn't yell. I didn't bang the table. Instead, I reached across the table, patted his hand gently, and said, "If that's what you've decided, Corbin, then that's what will happen." He looked confused, then relieved, maybe even disappointed. I think he wanted me to fight back. But I knew that sometimes silence is stronger than shouting. After lunch, I drove straight to my lawyer, Mr. Whitaker. He was a close friend of Evander's and had been handling our legal matters for over 20 years. "Juniper," he said as I entered, tears running down my cheeks. "What's wrong, dear?" I told him everything. His face grew darker with every word. Then he said something that changed everything. "Juniper, do you remember what Evander put in his will?" I shook my head. "Your Evander was a wise man," he said. "When you updated your wills, Evander made sure the country house was protected. He knew families sometimes fight over property. So he put it in a family trust. You're the only trustee. No one can give that house away to non-family members without your consent and a court review." I stared at him. "What does that mean exactly?" Mr. Whitaker smiled. "It means your son can't give that house to his in-laws. It's legally impossible." I felt hope rising in my heart. Evander had protected us, even from beyond the grave. Not only that, but the trust also had money in it. Money Evander had saved for repairs and property taxes. "How much money is there?" I asked. "About $47,000, Mr. Whitaker said after checking his computer. I gasped. Evander had worked all those extra shifts not just to build the house, but to protect it forever. "What do we do now?" I asked. "First," Mr. Whitaker said, "we'll activate the trust and send letters to Corbin and Tamsin explaining the law. Then we'll arrange for security measures at the house." That night, I thought about Corbin's face when he got that letter. Part of me felt sorry for him, but another part felt relief. Evander was still protecting me. I called my sister Cordelia in Florida and told her everything. She laughed warmly. "That's Evander," she said. "Always 3 steps ahead. Always taking care of his girls." Hearing her say his girls made me cry happy tears. The next day, Mr. Whitaker called with an update. He had sent certified letters to Corbin and Tamsin. He also had security workers put in new locks and a basic alarm system. But when the team got there, they found something interesting. "Someone has already been there measuring rooms and planning furniture placement," Mr. Whitaker said. My heart felt like ice. Tamsin's parents had already come to my house, acting like it was already theirs. They had walked through the rooms where Evander and I had loved, laughed, and raised our son, Corbin. They were probably talking about what things of ours they would throw away to make space for their own furniture. But the security team had done more than just change the locks. They had put up cameras that would send us a message if anyone tried to go into the house without permission. They had also put up serious-looking signs saying the house was legally protected, and anyone who tried to enter without permission would be arrested. Juniper, Mr. Whitaker, the lawyer, said, "I want you to know that everything is completely legal. Your husband's trust was carefully written, and nobody can take your home away. The house is yours, and it will stay yours as long as you want." For the first time in weeks, I finally slept peacefully that night, knowing Evander's love was still around me like a warm blanket. The next day, Corbin called me. His voice was shaky, full of anger and embarrassment. "Mom, what's this legal letter about? Tamsin's parents are humiliated. They already gave up their apartment. They even sold some of their furniture. Now you're saying they can't move into the house? This is crazy." I let him yell for a few minutes. Then I spoke calmly. "Corbin, honey, I tried to tell you at lunch that this house is very special to me. You didn't want to listen. Now you see that your father made sure our home was protected. You didn't know how much he cared about this house." There was silence. Then Corbin said something that broke my heart. "Mom, You're destroying my marriage. Tamsin is furious. Her parents think I lied to them. Corbin, I said gently, I am not destroying anything. You created this problem when you promised to give away something that wasn't yours to give. Your father spent 45 years building and protecting this house for our family, not for Tamsin's parents or anyone else. For us. I heard Tamsin yelling in the background, but I couldn't make out the words. Corbin's voice got quiet. Mom, please, can't we work something out? Maybe Tamsin's parents could rent the house from you, or stay there for a little while until they find another place. I closed my eyes and thought about Evander and what he would want. Son, I said softly, your father's will is very clear. The house stays in our family. That's final. Saturday was supposed to be the day Tamsin's parents moved into my country house. But instead, it became the day they found out that Corbin had promised them something he had no right to give. The security company told me what happened. A moving truck showed up at the house around 9 o'clock in the morning. Tamsin's parents, Corbin, Tamsin, and my 2 grandchildren were there, ready to move things in. But their key didn't work. When they tried to get in through a window, the alarm went off. They even called the police, thinking someone had broken in. But when the police arrived, they told them that they were the ones trespassing. Around noon, Mr. Whitaker called me. Juniper, everything at the house is settled now, he said. The police explained the legal situation. Tamsin's parents were upset, but they accepted that they had been told wrong information about being able to move in. I felt a mix of sadness and relief. I was sad for Corbin, who must have been embarrassed, but I was glad Evander's careful planning had protected our home. What happens next? I asked. Well, Mr. Whitaker said, I think Corbin will want to talk to you very soon. This probably opened his eyes to some things. That evening, Corbin came to my house. But he wasn't the same confident man who had made big plans at the diner a few days earlier. He looked like my little boy again. His eyes were red and his shoulders drooped. Mom, he said quietly, can I come in? We need to talk. I opened the door wide and led him to the kitchen table where we had shared so many important talks over the years. I made him coffee with extra sugar and a splash of cream, just the way he liked it as a kid. We sat in silence for a while, just a mother and son finding their way back to each other. I messed up, Mom, Corbin whispered. I messed up so badly. I don't even know how to start apologizing. I reached across the table and held his hand like I had when he was little. Start wherever you need to. Sweetheart, I said. I'm listening. Then Corbin told me everything. He said Tamsin had been pressuring him for months to ask for the house. Her parents had been dropping hints that they needed a place to retire. Tamsin convinced him that I was selfish for keeping such a big house when I lived alone. He admitted he had started to believe that making Tamsin happy was more important than respecting his father's memory. By the time he finished talking, we were both crying. Mom, I forgot who raised me, Corbin said through tears. I forgot Dad's values. I forgot that family means loyalty and respect, not just taking whatever you want. I squeezed his hand tighter. Corbin, we all make mistakes. What matters is learning from them and making things right. He looked at me with eyes that reminded me so much of Evander's. How do I make this right? Tamsin's parents won't even speak to me. Tamsin's talking about marriage counseling. The kids keep asking why Grandma and Grandpa can't move into the pretty house like we promised. I've hurt everyone I love, including you. I thought carefully before speaking. Corbin, you need to have an honest talk with Tamsin. A good marriage is about understanding and respecting both families, not just one. If she can't see that your father protected this house for a reason, then you have bigger problems than where her parents will live. Corbin nodded slowly. And the second thing, he asked. The second thing, I said, is to find a way to help Tamsin's parents without giving away what isn't yours. So Corbin and I sat at the kitchen table and made a plan. The house would stay in our family, just like Evander wanted. But we would help Tamsin's parents find a nice, affordable senior apartment. If they needed money for a deposit or moving costs, I would help with that. It's not just about money, Mom, Corbin said. Tamsin's parents need to feel like they matter to us. They're hurt because I promised them something I couldn't give. I understand, I said. Family means making people feel valued, not just tolerated. Why don't you invite Tamsin? and her parents over for Sunday dinner next week. I added, I'd like to apologize for the confusion and talk about how we can all work together as a family. Corbin's face lit up. Really, Mom? You do that after everything. I smiled. Honey, that's what families do. We don't give up on each other when things are hard. That night, Corbin helped me plan a special dinner with Tamsin's parents' favorite dishes. It felt good to be planning something happy after all the sadness. The Sunday dinner was a big success. Tamsin's parents, Hugo and Mabel, looked nervous at first, but I welcomed them warmly. I'm sorry about the house mix-up, I told them. Corbin should have explained things better, but I hope you know you're always part of this family. I'd like to help you find a great place to live. By the end of the night, we were laughing and sharing stories like old friends. Over the next few weeks, something amazing happened. The house stopped being a reason for fights and became a place that brought us closer. Corbin and Tamsin started visiting with the kids again. The grandchildren played in the yard where their dad had played as a boy. Hugo and Mabel visited too. Mabel even helped me plant flowers in the garden. We found them a beautiful apartment just 20 minutes away. Evander's trust fund paid for their moving costs. Everyone was happy and everyone felt loved. One night, Tamsin pulled me aside. Juniper, she said, I owe you an apology. I was so focused on my parents that I didn't think about your feelings. Corbin told me how you and Evander built this home together. I'm ashamed I pushed him to ask for it. I hugged her. Family is about understanding and forgiving, I said. Now the country house is better than ever. With the trust fund, I fixed the gutters, replaced windows, and painted everything fresh. Corbin and Tamsin helped pick new furniture that honored old memories, but made space for new ones. The grandchildren now have their own bedroom, filled with pictures of their adventures here. Hugo fixed the fishing dock, and he and Corbin take the kids fishing every weekend. It's exactly what Evander would have wanted, a home filled with laughter, love, and family. 6 months after that sad lunch at Peterson's diner, Corbin gave me a surprise that made me cry happy tears. He had been secretly working with a local photographer to make a beautiful book filled with our family memories from the country house. The book had pictures from birthdays, Christmas mornings, fishing trips, garden parties, and so many other special moments from 45 years of our lives. It was a big, pretty coffee table book. When Corbin gave it to me, he said, Mom, I finally understand what this house really means. It's not just a building. It's the heart of our family. It's where Dad's love is still alive, and it's where we will keep making memories for many years to come. The last page of the book had a letter that Corbin wrote to his dad, Evander. In the letter, Corbin thanked Evander for being wise and for protecting the family home. He promised to teach his own children about loyalty, respect, and love, the same things he had learned when he was growing up. Dad, the letter said, I'm sorry it took me so long to understand your lessons, but Mom's gentle strength and your guidance have helped me see what really matters. I promise to be the kind of son, husband, and father that would make you proud. When I read those words, I felt like Evander was right there sitting beside me. I could almost feel his presence in the room. Today, our family is happier and closer than ever. Corbin calls me every day, not because he has to, but because he really wants to. Tamsin and I are now true friends. We share recipes, talk about gardening, and laugh about the funny things the grandchildren say. Hugo and Mabel, who are like the parents I never had, come to our Sunday dinners and holiday celebrations all the time. The country house has taught us something very important. Love isn't about getting everything you want. It's about knowing what really matters and working together to protect it. Some people ask me if I was wrong not to tell Corbin about the legal situation with the house right away. They wonder if I should have explained it instead of letting him figure it out the hard way. But I don't think I was wrong. Sometimes people need to face the results of their choices to really understand why those choices weren't good. Corbin needed to feel what it was like to lose something precious. He needed to see how his actions hurt other people. He needed to find his way back to the values of Evander, and I tried to teach him. Most of all, he needed to learn that love and respect can't be taken for granted, even from the people who love you most. Evander's trust, the plan he made to protect the house, has been a true blessing. It didn't just save the house. it also taught us to plan for the future and to think about how our choices affect the people we love. Now, Corbin and Tamsin have made their own family trust to protect their children. Hugo and Mabel did the same thing with Mr. Whitaker's help, making sure their family will always be safe too. Evander's wisdom started something amazing. His choices are helping not just our family, but also others for many years to come. The country house has become a place of healing for me too. After Evander passed away, I was so sad that I stopped taking care of myself. But fixing up the house, planning family gatherings, and making new memories with the grandchildren gave me hope and a reason to smile again. I even started painting again, something I hadn't done in years. The sunroom is now my art studio. I paint pictures of the garden, the pond, and the big oak trees Evander planted long ago. Painting helps me keep Evander's love and the beauty he created alive for future generations. Last month, we celebrated what would have been Evander's 76th birthday at the country house. The whole family came, Corbin and Tamsin, the grandchildren, Hugo and Mabel, and even my sister Cordelia flew in from Florida. Some of Evander's old friends from the factory joined us too. We told stories, laughed, and watched the sunset from the porch swing Evander built with his own hands. As the night grew quiet and fireflies danced in the yard, I felt so grateful for the man who loved me so much that he protected us even after he was gone. His wisdom and love saved us from a mistake that could have broken our family forever. The grandchildren, who are now 10 and 12, are starting to ask questions about inheritance and family legacy. They want to know why the country house is so special and what it means to belong to a family that values loyalty and tradition. Corbin and I are teaching them about money, property, and responsibility. We want them to know that being part of a family isn't about taking. It's about giving, protecting, and passing love and values on to the next generation. These lessons will help them all their lives. I've also started helping at a local group that works with families having problems over property and inheritance. So many families fight over money and things. My story has helped some of them find peace. One older man told me that Evander's trust inspired him to protect his own family farm. A widow with 3 grown children used our example to talk honestly with her kids about her estate before problems started. Knowing that our story helps others makes me feel proud and happy. Even lawyers are learning from Evander's plan. Mr. Whitaker said other lawyers asked to study Evander's trust because it was so well made. Evander's wisdom about protecting family property and planning for the future is now helping other families too. Evander used to say, "The best way to be remembered is to leave the world better than you found it." I think he did just that. Now, as I sit here looking at the garden where Evander and I spent so many happy days, I'm filled with gratitude for this journey. There were hard times and painful mistakes, but love and understanding guided us through. The house that could have divided us has made us stronger and closer than ever. If you're reading this and going through similar struggles in your own family, please don't give up hope. People can change. Love can heal even deep hurts. Sometimes, the very thing that seems like it will tear your family apart can actually bring you closer than ever. Be patient with the people you love. Stand firm with your values, but never stop believing in forgiveness and second chances. Family is not always easy. It can be messy, complicated, and painful, but it's also the most precious gift we have. The country house is still our safe place, our family's heart, and our reminder of what truly matters. Every summer, we have a big reunion. Aunts, uncles, cousins, and friends travel from all over to spend time here. The children play in the same yard their parents once played in. The adults sit on Evander's porch, telling stories and laughing late into the night. And I, the grandmother of this beautiful, imperfect, loving family, sit in my favorite chair and think about how one man's wisdom built a legacy that will last for generations. This is what love looks like when it's cared for, protected, and allowed to grow. Dear friends, thank you for listening today. Please remember, every family has storms and hard times. Love will be tested and values will be challenged. But with patience, wisdom, and a strong heart, those storms can make you stronger instead of breaking you. Don't be afraid to set boundaries and stand up for what you believe in. And never forget, quiet strength and a gentle heart can be the bravest things in the world. We're almost at the end of today's story, and I want to thank every one of you for being here. Your comments and messages mean more to me than I can say. Many of you share your own family stories, your struggles, and your happy moments. We are all connected by love, loss, forgiveness, and hope. Keep sharing your stories in the comments. They might help someone else going through a hard time. If this story touched your heart, please give it a thumbs up and share it with someone who needs hope. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and click the bell so you don't miss any of our weekly stories. We have many more tales about family, love, strength, and doing what's right even when it's hard. Your support helps me keep telling these stories, and I'm grateful for each view, like, and comment. You make this grandmother's heart so full of joy.